The San Francisco 49ers get the win on Monday Night Football against the Carolina Panthers, 20-9. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Behind the Back Podcast, 49ers post-game edition. The 49ers find a way to get the W at the hands of great defense and having to make up for Brock Purdy having a rough game. So we're going to start this one off by talking about Brock. Let's start by saying Brock has played just a handful of games in 2025 this season. This is a season where there's been injuries all up and down from the offensive side, specifically with Brock Purdy. He's been dealing with the toe injury. He was thrust back into the game. He was thrust back into the season against Jacksonville, re-aggravated it, came back against the Cardinals. Looked like there was no rust, right? Because he has this amazing game. I think the rust might have built a little bit. And I think we saw a little bit more of it against, a defense in the Panthers who are just a little bit better than that of what you would have seen against, say, the Cardinals last week. So as far as these turnovers, so Brock Purdy throws 3 interceptions. Initially, everybody looks at these are, you don't want to see an interception. You don't want to see 2 of them. You really don't want to see 3 of them. And you really don't want to see it all in one half. Kyle Shanahan after the game, at halftime and after the game, said he's happy with the decision that Brock made on all of those throws. He likes the read, says it was the right read, wrong throw. Meaning he just didn't put the ball in the place that he needed to. I'm not going to lie. Like, in the moment, I was like, those are awful decisions. I'm not huge on those decisions from Brock. Especially the one to Pearsall in the end zone. It was like you had so much green grass in front of you. Why not just keep going? But again, is it the toe thing? Who knows? But for Kyle Shanahan, a guy who at this point, as 49ers fans, if you don't trust this guy in kind of the decisions he makes from an offensive perspective, I get the game managing side of things. That makes sense. But knowing a quarterback is Kyle Shanahan's probably one of his most specialties that he has. So if he believes that those were the right reads and it really did just boil down to Brock not being able to make the throw in that moment, a little bit behind, a little bit off, whatever the case may be, I can live with that. I really can, especially when your defense plays the way that the 49ers did today. So let's shift now to this defensive side. Shout out Jair Brown. I'm gonna jump way ahead for a second and say game ball number 1 going to Jair Brown is his best day as a 49er. Finishing the day with the 2 interceptions, flying all over the field, making timely tackles. He had 5 total tackles in this game, and stepping up in big moments. And Jair, for a lot of his time as a 49er, has been kind of ups and downs. And this is as up as it gets with him so far in his career. And really, again, with the timely interceptions, especially the one in the end zone right after a Brock Purdy interception, just getting the ball back, not just holding them to, no touchdown, but taking the ball entirely from Carolina. It's just really good play from Jair Brown. So shout out to him. The defense overall, though, one of the keys to the game that Marcos and I were talking about in the pod last week was bend, don't break when it comes to the 49ers defensive approach to this game. This was a Panthers team who was coming off of a really hot week. This is a Panthers offense who cooked last week. Bryce finishing with multiple touchdowns and 400 plus yards. So this going into this, you had this feeling, especially with the 49ers having seen Jacoby Brissett set an NFL completion record against them. You felt like the 49ers defense was going to be the thing that could lose them the game. And you felt like the offense was going to be the thing that needed to carry you in this game and put up more points. And you anticipated maybe a higher scoring game. This game, if you didn't watch it and you just looked at the defensive stats, 5 total takeaways, interceptions. There were 2 fumbles, neither one fumble lost, but 2 fumbles by both teams. Like, this is a scrappy game. And the 49ers defense specifically just doing their best bend, don't break impression. This was 100% the reason why the 49ers won today. You know, Robert Saleh, just electric on the sideline as usual, especially in this one. You see that smile all game long. He was having a blast watching his defense fly around, make plays. This was a prime 49ers defense display. And that's without the leaders of the defense that you've had now for multiple weeks, or rather haven't had. So I love what I saw from the defensive side of the football. And I mean, overall, I'm giving a game ball to the defense as well. You know, so I guess Jair gets two, right? So just love what I saw from the 49ers defense. But this offense, you know, Brock, 3 interceptions. Now let's talk about the second half a little bit, because it did improve. And I noticed with Kyle Shanahan, I texted Marcos about this. Kyle Shanahan didn't necessarily get away from what he likes to do or what he wants his quarterback to do, but he dialed up some plays for Purdy, I noticed, to kind of get him in rhythm coming out of halftime and just, you know, kind of establish a little bit of confidence in himself, a little bit of confidence in these drives. You know, it was a rough first half. You had to come out as your defense comes out, makes a really good stop. You had to come out and try and lay something down and make some form of improvement on the offensive end if you wanted a chance to win this game, because you knew the Panthers were going to have a punch of some sort. And I think that Kyle did a really good job, you know, dialing up these plays for Brock Purdy to kind of give him a little bit of a rhythm. Again, Brock didn't make another huge mistake. He didn't throw another interception from there. And he was able to really lock in and be pretty consistent throughout the second half. So Brock did finish this game 20 of 32 through the air for 193 yards, 1 touchdown, and then those 3 interceptions. So it was a rough game from Brock. I don't know how healthy he is. I mean, obviously he's not going to be 100%, right? That was already known. But how healthy is Brock Purdy really? Because where I'm really questioning that is the green grass on, I think it was that second interception, to Ricky Pearsall in the end zone. It was green grass for days in front of him. What did he do against the Lions in the NFC Championship game? He took that green grass. We've seen Purdy take green grass a lot. So what didn't make sense was a moment like that. I get if you see you might have a shot right there, but I mean, there really wasn't anything there, you know, in terms of stopping Brock Purdy. He could have gotten the first down at the very least. I think he could have pushed it to the 5-yard line. And you have a fresh set of downs. You just run Brian Robinson up the middle and it's a touchdown. So you can question if it's the injury. Did he feel like he doesn't want to run on it? Was he told not to run on it? Questions there. Then you can attribute to, okay, was it a decision? Obviously, Kyle feels like it was the right decision, but was it a decision-making factor there? Whereas, you know, when he's in rhythm, when he's feeling good, he's had multiple games under his belt, does he see that grass and just take that grass versus trying to make the big play? I think it's worth noting Brock Purdy on Monday Night Football his stats are not good. I mean, he has, I think, like 11 interceptions to maybe 5 touchdowns now in his career on Monday Night Football. So not great. A couple of those were rain games. You gotta, you know, factor that in, and we're gonna get into that here in a minute when I talk about this upcoming Browns game on Sunday on a short week. But I don't know, you know, I don't want to look at this game and say this is who Brock Purdy is necessarily. I'm going to trust Kyle Shanahan on this one and say that it was good decision making. It just was a matter of the throw being off, and I'm not gonna dig too much into a narrative here. It's easy to do off of a loss to dig into a narrative, but we're not dealing with a loss right now. The 49ers have improved to 8-4 on the season. They remain the 7th seed in the NFC, lined up to play the Philadelphia Eagles in round 1. But, you know, this 49ers team, the narrative in this one that I really want to drive is that they're continuing to find ways to win. Whether it's offense or defense or special teams, whatever unit needs to step up throughout this season for certain games has done so. And it's been opportunistic. It's been well executed. And, you know, D Winters, even after the game, he talked about execution multiple times. It's like this team knows how to execute when it matters. This team makes the plays when they need to. And whatever unit it is, like, they're making it happen. So I can't be too mad at this game. Yeah, could have been better. Like if I had to grade the defense, I'm giving them probably giving them like a D plus. I don't think like knowing what this offense is capable of. I don't think that I can really say that they had, a good recovery in the second half and really pulled through. No, you put up 20 points on better defense, but not great defense by any stretch. And you're going to start playing some really tough teams down the stretch here coming up. So overall, 49ers found the way to win. That's what matters. It's hard to win in the NFL. It's hard to win NFL games. I mean, you look at, I hate to bring it up, you look at what happened with the Eagles. With 21, they were up 21-0, and then they end up losing that game. Like, NFL games, no matter the lead, no matter the scenario, are not easy to win. You still have to go out. You still have to execute. You still have to play to your top game. And the 49ers have found ways to do that. So we're talking about a W here. It can't get too much better, right? Let's talk last game ball. So I gave the first one to Jair. I gave the second one to the defense. I'm giving the third one to the guy who's playing against the team that drafted him for the first time in his career, and that is Christian McCaffrey. Christian, do it all. Give me the ball. I'll do it all myself. Guys, he is just a walking legend at this point. So Christian McCaffrey has recorded his 38th career game with at least 50 rushing yards and 50 receiving yards. The only player who has more than him is Hall of Fame player Marshall Faulk, who has 41 of those. So Christian McCaffrey, 3 games away from tying the NFL history books for the most 50-50 rushing receiving games in NFL history. I mean, he's just a Swiss Army knife. He's an incredible player. They asked Kyle Shanahan, the media asked Kyle Shanahan if they sensed that Christian felt a little more fire going into this game versus that of, another random matchup. And Kyle said no, he didn't seem any more like crazy than normal. Like he's always extremely locked in. He's always extremely fired up. He's ready to go. That's just who he is. He never looks less or more than anything he is. And Christian McCaffrey just doing his best one-man show impression again today. With the one touchdown through the air, finishing with 140 all-purpose yards. So, love what I saw from Christian. Now the 49ers turn around on a short week, and they're going to play the Cleveland Browns on Sunday in Cleveland, where it is forecasted to be rainy, guys. Now, you might think of that and be like, well, it's the rainy season. Football is here. It's we're getting into the wintry kind of seasons in the NFL. We got to remember Brock Purdy struggles with water games. Anytime it rains, any snow, anything like that, Brock Purdy, he has the smaller hands, he has the smaller build, that ball tends to be slippery, it's wobblers, and it's a better defense than that of what you saw today. And who do they have rushing at you all the time? Myles Garrett. So this is going to be a huge test for this 49ers team in general. It's going to be a huge test for the 49ers offensive line, a huge test for Brock Purdy, a huge test for this offense, for this defense. Now with Shedeur Sanders starting for them, confirmed starting for them going into this next week. And Shedeur is coming off of a fairly consistent game. Is he great through the air? No. Has he found a rhythm in the NFL yet? No. Does that mean that he's somebody you can sleep on and expect to just throw the ball to you? No. Like, you still got to go out there. You still got to execute. You got to play the best. And the 49ers now have stacked 2 wins. This was something they struggled to do this season. They've now stacked 2 wins. They stopped. They got off that seahorse, that back and forth seesaw, and they're able to now go into this Cleveland game on a bit of a win streak and potentially stack another one on top of that going into what will be a tough stretch after the bye. So, looking forward to talking about that. Unfortunately, this week, guys, if you haven't already heard in the last episode, Marcos and I will be taking this week off because it is Thanksgiving. I have a lot of prep to do. Marcos has a lot of stuff to do as well. And, we're hosting Thanksgiving. We're going over to my lovely girlfriend's mom's house, and we're celebrating with the cousins over there. And it's going to be fantastic. We're making ham. We're making stuffing, green bean casserole, macaroni and cheese, and she's just fantastic. Shout out to the girlfriend. She does a fantastic job every single year. She always provides. She always provides on a nightly basis for your boy. I always got a full belly over here. So I go to bed happy every single night. But happy Thanksgiving to everybody. It's going to be a no episode week, but we will have a breakdown. I will have a breakdown of the Cleveland game and some keys to win if the 49ers want to have a chance in this one, which I believe they do. So I'll get into that. So look forward to that. And if you aren't already subscribed, guys, please hit the subscribe button, hit that like, comment. Guys, let me know what you thought about this game. Yeah, it was an ugly one, right? But the 49ers, again, finding a way to win. They're stacking wins. They're finding ways to win. They're positioning themselves for a little bit of a playoff berth here. I think with that win, they now have an 86% chance at the playoffs, which is a constant shifting percentage. It's going to go up and down, I'm sure, from this point on. But as it sits right now, the 49ers are looking good and looking locked in. So, guys, I will see you soon. As always, I've been Benny the Jet Rets. You can hit us up at behindthebackpod13@gmail.com. Hit us up at any of our socials down below. Give us a follow, like I said. And stay tuned for more 49ers news. And if you're an Eagles fan, that sucks, man. I'm sorry. I feel for you. That's a tough loss. But knowing you guys will probably bounce back. So, I'll see you guys soon. Peace.